can use breath when you're playing. Actually, it has to feel like you're breathing when you play. People identify with that more. If you put breath in your music, it doesn't matter what kind of music you're playing. It's possible to play with no break in the sound with the piano or the guitar. So I've always found that this use of space is important.
It's not a typical kind of thing. We always expect a piano player to sometimes go the horn, or the guitar player to sometimes work on a bass. But it's not typical to have piano and the guitar in the same person. How do you look at yourself choosing those two instruments to explore your musical ideas?
Well, for one thing, you can play more than one note at the same time. So they're really polyphonic instruments. Bass players, I've always said it's important to know how to play a bass line. And it's great to play with a great bass player, but that's always a part of your music, handling the bass line and the bass part. And but just as I say, that's another important thing for me.
What have you heard from your solo work, or your duo work, or your work with Oregon? It's a kind of three different musical worlds, but in the way also organically somehow fitted together. How you will explain your different interests concerning the formations, the formats that you have?
Well, we like to use a lot of formats, completely free for one thing, but that's where we compose based on the sounds that we start with, and then the piece grows from those sounds, and that's all done freely, free music. But it's never really that free. You're trying to make a story out of it with some continuity, even if it's atonal. I mean, for the tonality, we use a lot of different approaches. When you've heard a lot of music, different kinds of music that you like, it somehow eventually enters into your own playing, and you'll express it in some way. If it's something you like, it'll find its way through you, and hopefully in a way that's not immediately recognizable from the source.
Do you have some pieces from the usual Oregon program that you are doing in your solo sets?
There's a few, yeah, but mainly the pieces to be played on the guitar solo, it's more difficult, and I write pieces that I can manage to, they're really written kind of for the guitar solo.
You also like to play standards?
Yeah, I throw in a couple of standards also. I was playing standards that was sort of necessary when you moved to New York, let's say in the early 70s. If you couldn't play bebop, you would be eaten alive and have to go home to a little town. To survive in New York City. The first thing in those days was to be able to play standards and play bebop. And so I was kind of prepared when I went there, but the guitar was something I developed a little bit through Brazilian music, playing with Brazilians, but I tried to evolve away from that. But meanwhile, I was still playing piano. I played with different groups, Freddie Hubbard and Stan Getz on the piano. And but these people are all dead. Talking about people that don't live anymore. It's incredible.
It's your turn now. So feel free to ask whatever you want.
Just as I thought.
As John Scofield said a few years ago, on the very same place, I will not leave this room before everybody of you asking questions.
I Good for him.
He was
Oh,
serious.
yeah.
Come on, please. I will translate if you want to. Yeah, Davor.
Maybe because he's in Serbia, now he composed songs influenced by Slavic music. Maybe he can say something about that.
Well, I mean, I've heard Slavic music and mostly classical music, and but then some great jazz players that come from Serbia and Croatia, and anyway, when you hear that, as I said before, I mean, you can't help but be slightly influenced. I've always liked odd meters, and which is quite a Slavic tradition too. I don't think anyone wants to ask you a question. Well, you know, I don't know that much, so I think I just told you everything I know.
Come on, feel free. Ja ću prevesti, I will translate.
What do you think about new technologies, YouTube, internet? Now if you don't have a clip on YouTube, like you don't exist.
If you don't have a what on YouTube?
Clip on YouTube.
I have a million clips. I mean, sometimes
I saw.
I barely have a chance to take a shower the next morning, and it's on YouTube from the night before. So, but they're not always very good recordings, though. They're sometimes just from the iPhones. So, in a way, at least it does the service of showing that I'm still alive and still playing. And but it can't help CD sales. I don't think. I don't even see a CD store anymore that sells musical CDs. Maybe.
We have some, but very little.
Yeah. See, it's really so it's all downloaded, or you can stream it from the internet.
But it's also a way to see different kinds of music from different nations.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
All
Really.
music is in expansion
Yeah.
thanks to YouTube.
Yeah, when it's all there. I mean, any music that's ever been played is still available. Still being played by someone. People that love to play Dixieland music, and they're still playing Dixieland. And they make a whole lifetime out of playing some music from a whole nother era. So, you always say music, it never seems to die. I mean, almost every form of music is still being played. It always astonishes me.
I think musicians will be paid only if they play alive.
What's that? That they play alive or live?
Live.
Live. Yeah, well, that's what it comes down to. I mean, you have to play concerts to really put food in your mouth and other people's mouths.
There's no lies here.
No, I mean, it really is. I mean, the record sales are so low. I mean, I think even pop groups don't do nearly as well as they used to.
Thank you.
Have you ever worked with some Serbian musicians?
I'm sure I have, but I tell you, I can't remember. I didn't remember I had been here before in this beautiful theater. And it was only 3 years ago, I guess.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Serbian musicians, Serbian jazz?
Well, I mean, the thing about you don't have to be an American anymore. I mean, the improvised music and built from jazz technique and using old jazz forms and beyond. It's not necessary anymore to go to New York City and succeed or fail. You know, that used to be the way it was.
From any other place?
From everywhere. I mean, when I was in New York, I mean, there's a bunch of Hungarians were there that were.
Was Gabor Sabo in that time?
Yeah, Gabor. I
Yeah.
knew Gabor, and but Jan Hammer and George Mraz and Miroslav Vitus.
They're all there.
Yeah, they were all coming from Europe, a lot of them would come and study in Berkeley school, and then they would move to New York. And I never, there weren't any jazz schools when I was studying, so I was basically self-taught from records and playing with musicians.
So what are your roots then?
Huh?
Your roots of jazz, your roots of...
Well, when I was 5 years old, my brothers were in the Second World War, and they would buy all these swing band records, so I would hear all these Benny Goodman and Duke Ellington and all these things, Nat King Cole Trio, and so I kept hearing, had quite a jazz thing, and I started playing trumpet when I was 6.
Oh.
And so I learned almost all the jazz standards on the trumpet. I played in Dixieland groups and growing up, men jazz band. I would play when I was 12. I was playing in a bar with this jazz dance band and reading like a book of 380 standards. And but on the breaks, I had to leave They would take me out to the hotel lobby where I couldn't be in the bar because I was 12. So I really had a great background in jazz. And plus I played in all the school bands in a small town about the size of this town. How big is this town?
80,000.
This is a huge town. I was in a town of 9,000 people. So I had I was able to improvise from birth somehow. I don't know what it was, so I had a natural gift. And
Have you ever played anything else besides standard jazz?
yeah, no, I played classical music, and then I went to Vienna to learn how to play classical guitar. But I didn't start my guitar that I'm going to play tonight. I didn't start playing classical guitar until I was 22 years old. That's when I started that. I'd never played a guitar before that.
Yeah. Classical guitar and regular guitar are not so simple now.
No, well, no, I never played a regular guitar. I had started